Credit card theft is on the rise, and almost every week there is new announcement of card data breach. As a matter of fact, we are only in February in 2026, and already there is a growing list of 2026 card data breaches reported from rather big companies. When you look at the methods of attack they are now using, you will notice these attacks are no longer opportunistic hackers trying to get card data, but rather targeted and determined with advanced technology used to steal your data. Methods like AI-powered attacks, industrialized account takeover, and digital skimming are some of the most sophisticated attack methodologies in the market. And based on what we are seeing, 2026 is going to reveal more card data theft from the organization that are not prepared. You often hear of the attacks and attackers, but you don't hear about the professionals that are leading the way to prevent card data attacks. Introducing Ben Oguntala from PaymentsandCo.com, a PCI technical design authority that has helped over 150 companies become PCI compliant, and the man behind some of the biggest PCI breach prediction in the industry. If you have a PCI problem, you want to talk to Ben. Here are some of the battle scars that makes Ben one of the unique PCI compliance leaders in the industry today. In 2018, Ben was the PCI Compliance Program Manager for British Airways, working at their head office at Heathrow. He told their Director of Risk at the time that British Airways was not PCI compliant, despite the fact that their QSA had told them they were PCI compliant. He explained to them the various reasons why they were not only not PCI compliant, but that they had never been. He detected they were storing CVV data and had been doing so for over 15 years. There is one golden rule in PCI compliance. You cannot be PCI compliant if you store CVV data, the 3 numbers behind your credit card. So the lesson number 1 is that you have to know what you and your service providers do with card data and with the CVV card. If you do not have this information today, there is something wrong with your PCI compliance strategy. Don't be a victim like British Airways, who had to pay a $20 million fine. The absolute worst place you can have your credit card is in a hotel. The hotel or hospitality industry as a whole is the highest source of card data breach, and the industry is sleepwalking into a disaster. In 2025, Ben was the PCI Compliance Program Manager for an IATA member. IATA is the Travel Industry Association, and came in contact with the 5th largest hotel group in the world with over 500 branches. Ben was the first to tell them they were not PCI compliant and showed them the various risks they had, as well as where they were misleading their clients. Obviously, this news upset their senior management so much that they called Ben's management to terminate his contract. In response, Ben asked his management to confirm from the hotel chain. If they had any evidence to dispute Ben's statement, they could not respond and kept quiet. There are several reasons the hotel is the worst place to have your credit card. Number 1, if you want to book a hotel, you are probably going to hand your card to either a booking engine or a corporate travel management company. Most of these companies need to see your credit card and CVV so that they can charge for the variety of services they claim they are offering. This is a massive card data exposure location, and to make matters worse, they have thousands of card data service providers that they don't carry out due diligence on, but they share your card data with them. Quite often, they send your card data in the clear. This means the hackers don't even have to try. Your credit card data, including your CVV, is theirs for the taking. Number 2, the hotels are handed your card data in order for your booking to be confirmed. From the most upscale hotel to the smallest and their partners, the risk is the same. They need to charge your card and therefore take your CVV. All sorts of thefts happen here. Unscrupulous staff members have been observed to take customer card data and place their own personal orders using client credit card. Number 3 is the hotel Wi-Fi, which by nature is designed to be opened in order to allow clients to connect, but by so doing, they are opening up the Wi-Fi to hackers to capture unprotected card data. All the hackers have to do is sit at the reception and sniff the Wi-Fi network, as well as clients connecting to it. In his 19 years' experience, Ben says the hotel industry has grown increasingly worse to the point where half of them have given up finding a solution, but continuously produce an annual compliance document stating they are PCI compliant. These and other organized attacks make the hotel the worst place to have a credit card that is not canceled immediately after use. Ben says this easiest way to check if this applied to you as follows. When you make your booking for a flight or a hotel and your card leaves your presence in the clear and it is not tokenized or encrypted, then your card has already been hacked. You just don't know it yet. As we mentioned earlier, PCI compliance is not complicated, but it requires you to be organized. Very, very organized. Our PCI compliance approach is one of the reasons we can assure our clients that they can reduce the likelihood of a breach occurring. And when you see what it covers, perhaps you will understand why Ben is one of the top-rated PCI compliance specialists in Europe. We start by getting what is known as a merchant ID report. This will tell us how many acquiring banks the merchant has, how many merchant IDs they provided for the merchant, and where the merchant IDs are located. More than likely, each merchant ID is going to be associated to a payment channel. Next, we define the merchant's payment channels, which should tell us the various ways that the merchant takes card payments and where those payments take place, as well as the systems that support the payment, including who the service providers are. Then we move on to the systems that support each of these payment channels. Every payment channel has a system that enables it to take card payments. Telephone payment will have a telephone system like Echo or Genesis. We will record what type of system it is and if it is PCI compliant. Online payments will have a web server or portal implemented to support and take card payments made over e-commerce. Where the card data goes and how it gets there will be crucial. When it comes to cardholder present, we will need to record who the POS manufacturer is, what the software, make and model of the POS is, as well as the hardware and firmware. API payments are often transfers of payment in and out of the merchant, and sometimes they involve payments taken all day and sent the banks at the end of the business day. Email payments relate to how the merchant takes card payment over email, and we trace where the card payments go after they are emailed to the merchant. Service provider payments cover a wide range of services where third-party service providers are taking payments on behalf of the merchant or using their merchant ID. This may also include payment confirmation transfers between the merchant and their service providers. Finally, in many cases, there may be situations where card data is transferred in or out of a merchant using FTP or SFTP. We will capture these to understand why they are being sent, who they are being sent to, as well as the content of the file. This approach gives us a very comprehensive picture of the merchant's PCI scope. It allows us to understand how card data comes in, where it stays, how it is protected, how it is transmitted, and who it is transmitted to.
Here are some opinions that you may never hear anywhere else. If your organization needs to become PCI compliant or maintain PCI compliance, then Ben is your man. To become PCI compliant, you need a single point of contact, a subject matter expert that can set the strategy and enforce it across your organization. This is because, without this approach, many issues in PCI compliance will fall through the gaps and come back later to bite you. There are 2 key points to know about Ben's strategy. Number 1, PCI compliance is not as complicated as many people may have told you. The reason it is made to sound more complicated is basically to charge you more money. The more disorganized you are, the easier for unscrupulous suppliers to keep on charging you. However, you will notice that your PCI compliance status never gets better, and if anything, it will feel like it is getting worse, even though you are spending more on it. Number 2, to keep the hackers out and prevent your company from being on the front page news, you need to fully understand what the hackers want to steal, where it is, and how to make it useless to the hacker. This has to be your first task, because if the data is useless to the hacker, there will be no point to hacking you. To maintain this position, you will need discipline, enforced with technology and not just word of mouth. Your strategy must be delivered at every point required, and you will need the discipline to confirm the maintenance at each point. You will also need to avoid throwing money at PCI compliance without the discipline to deliver the strategy over and over again. These are some of the strategies that have kept Ben's 150 PCI record away from card data breaches.